It's a bomb! Cut the green wire, Tosis. You saved us. We're both sick, by the way.
Yeah. I don't like it. Mine is the orange Terran.
Artosis. His back has scoliosis. Artosis. You are my favorite caster.
Thank you.
How do you feel? See, we can't really do hype casting. We can be like two sick, gross guys.
We're doing fine.
We have little booger,
There's some funny stuff going on.
We have Kleenexes all wadded up on the table, blowing our nose.
A little coldy cold.
Yeah.
Luckily, you have next 2 days off.
We have more than that off, don't we?
Not me. On Friday, my family comes home, so I'll probably be expected to do things.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, I'm really glad you said that. I might have not come down to the studio on on Friday. You're gonna come up and see us in our neck of the woods of Soul Artosis before the family comes down here. You gotta rest.
Well, I gotta rest. If I feel better, I will perhaps think about going up, which is mostly unknown.
Oh, little Tosis. I like that you're sick and I'm sick, but somehow you're like just a little bit sicker than me. Like I'm telling myself that's because like I'm stronger than you. Like I'm like a little bit.
I think it's because I just always outperform you, basically. Whether it's sickness, whether it's health.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Your wavelengths are just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
In everything you do.
I'm just like more. It's like you got Tasis, but then you got more over here.
If I was mild sauce, you would be the extra spicy.
Yeah.
Or if I was mild sauce, you'd be the extra bland. You'd even be the extra tasteless. That's how good you are.
I would not even be sauce at that point.
Yeah.
If you were ranch, I would be mayonnaise.
Yeah, there you go.
Ranch is gross.
We got a barracks out here on the map for Mind. Sometimes Terrans like to scout with that barracks right away in GVT.
Yeah. This is a great.
In case you're wondering why that is.
It's a great forward position. Like you make 1 to 2 Marines off of it generally, and you could pressure with those. Like if he sees a CC first or something, it's a possibility. But the Rax is further out, so you get to scout with it better.
You remember the first time somebody scouted you with the barracks?
I
You're like,
do
what is
not
this
remember.
guy doing? I remember that. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Is he an idiot? I'm like, that can't be good. That's a barracks. And then I'm like trying to kill it with like my Marines. I'm shooting at it. And I'm like, oh my God, he just saw everything I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been a long time
Then I
ago.
started doing it. Oh, this is like, first few months of the game being out. I started doing it.
Yeah.
People would say, what are you doing, man? You're so bad. Not responding, floating over their base.
Yeah, actually, I played a TVT the other day, and it was like, it was a pretty good game on Fighting Spirit, actually. And as I started to get ahead, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to win this, out of nowhere, like a fire bat, I see a fire bat on the map, and I typed to him, why do you have a fire bat? And he left the game. But Firebat is literally the worst unit in this matchup. SCVs are better fighting units.
Oh, yeah. There's never
Just
a real
to make
moment
that clear.
to get a fire bat.
Never, ever.
And TVT, by the way. Yeah. TVZ, that's another story.
Yeah, they're really good in that matchup.
I've noticed this because I was watching your stream today. I'm not chatting usually that much in your stream because it's just too hard to type with one hand.
Yeah, and you're illiterate, but that's fine.
Yeah. I noticed in TVP, you're making a medic.
Yes.
Tell us about that. I kind of like it.
Okay, so actually I directly stole the one medic from Scan. I was watching some of Scan's stream. He's quite a good streamer, Korean player who has quite good English and stuff. And so the thing is, you always just kind of bring your Marines with your attack and all, right? And you generally get an academy. That's like, it's very in vogue right now to get your academy early. And if you just add one medic, it actually adds quite a bit of survivability to. Normally you bring 1 to 2 SCVs with you, right, to build a turret, repair a tank, whatever.
Right, yeah.
And you normally have, 4 Marines, 5 Marines, whatever it is. It's some amount of Marines live through the initial pressure. So the medic just kind of like brings their survivability up quite a bit. It's definitely worth the 50 mineral, 25 gas.
You don't get optic flare or anything like that, do you?
I did one game to show off.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, that's probably not that good.
No, it's not good. The upgrade actually takes so long. He is so cute. Pro gamer of tomorrow. But, I did get it one game, and I blinded a bunch of observers because my Marines died. And I'm like, well, I mean, I see these observers over my tanks. I'm just going to get it.
Right.
And I already knew I had won the game, so I was just kind of being...
Ooh, look at this. Rush has already gotten in here. He's taking out some SCVs. Meanwhile, we have somewhat of a push over here at the actual expansion, although you can see he's erring on the side of caution here. I guess that Vulture was killed off.
A funny thing to see here, those two Marines in the back are actually adding huge amounts of damage right now. Marines put out normal damage, so that's pretty significant there.
Mine's going to actually try to push this down. You got to be careful. Vultures alone sometimes won't cut it.
Yeah, it's... you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. Oh my god, if you have the Vulture advantage, the best thing to do is to kill their Vultures with your Vultures, and then you can actually bring some SCVs to help battle the tank at that point.
Right.
But this is kind of crazy that Mind is just poking it this hard with one tank.
Okay, so the very good catch there by Rush.
Yeah, seriously.
The problem is that
really
the tank can take on a lot of Vultures.
Yes,
if the SCVs are pulled, you just run away.
Once you get a large amount of Vultures, this is why he keeps attacking, because he wants the Vultures to keep attacking his tank. Because if he gets a big number, that was a good mine right there. If you get a big number of Vultures, they actually wreck the tank. But when you're fighting 2-3 against a tank, no, it's really bad.
Tank takes forever to kill. You need Vultures in overwhelming numbers. Kind of a funny moment there. He stands his ground. Now, over here we see Rush adding additional factories. I believe it's still just 2 factory right now for Mind. Although, actually, maybe on the minimap he has a 3rd one. I'm not sure. All right, Joe, you're better at just reading the minimap. Is it just still 2 factories or is it 3?
3 factories over there for Mind,
okay.
And 4 facts very soon for Rush. So
the Vultures are spilling out again here for Rush. Rush is interested in trying to mine up this map. It's kind of awkward because they both have mines everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, your enemy Vultures are not set off by mines, nor are SCVs. They're considered hovering units.
Yes. So are
whereas
Archons.
A tank, yes, an Arc, yeah, believe it or not. And then tanks, Marines, Goliaths, they do set off mines.
Yes, yeah. Okay, the only hovering units are Workers, Vultures, and Archons.
Whoa. Oh my god, that actually went off.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Gonna come in and snipe that. Totally worth, by the way. Totally worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vultures, they're very, very strong in the early and mid game in TVT. They lay the mines down. They're super fast. They can deal a lot of economic damage if you're not careful. They buffer for siege shakes. That's the main part, right?
Right.
But later on, they don't scale well, and you need to get rid of them. When we're talking maxed armies, Vultures are just garbage. They are trash tasteless. Oh my god, max armies TVT, everything but fire bats will beat Vultures at that point.
Okay, he's got to be careful here. If you stack mines up enough, as fast as Terran units fire, one of the mines can end up popping out and connecting. Mind is once again going for the jugular here with a really nice push.
He doesn't have a big enough army to actually do this. The fact that he's added Goliaths is kind of interesting. He's also down a factory this entire time, or not the entire time, but more recently. Okay. Vulture tank really dominates the ground in the mid game. Later on, the Goliaths, of course, can be very, very strong, but we're still at pretty low supplies.
Now, going around with these Vultures, if he gets an interception here, maybe goes inside of the main, starts to kill off Workers, that's going to be big damage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's units rallying out, but certainly not at a rate that's a real threat. But it seems like when that happened back there, he got hit by that siege tank range. He thought, if I throw these away, I'm just going to lose the game.
He's not sure exactly what's in there. So, yeah, keeping these alive is more valuable at the moment than trying to get in and get any damage done. Really interesting, again, that Mind is taking the 6 o'clock base. Of course, this is kind of pushable, but Mind is trying to really control this area. Ooh, just goes barely too close there.
Okay, takes on that one tank. He might be able to cut off Rush from taking his own 3rd if he can push forward further.
Mind is doing a good job controlling this area with these siege tanks.
Mind, I mean, he stays true to his name. He's a very brainy player. I love how he approaches this.
Yeah.
I think you're right, too, though. That bottom base is definitely Princess droppable. And drops are eventually going to become a factor in a TVT.
Eventually they will. It looks like Rush might actually be going for a Wraith switch here, which could make some sense. There's only this single Goliath out, and a lot of times you won't even have that. You notice how Rush doesn't have a Goliath. He's like, no, we're not going to play that game. If a Wraith flies in, that's fine. You're going to, you have time. A Wraith isn't going to kill tanks.
Not an easy way for excuse me, sorry, not an easy way for Rush to, Rush can't really have his left base get hit here because there's so many vultures out on the map. Unless Mind overwhelms him, and I think at this point in time, Rush has a decent enough vulture count that it's probably not going to be a factor.
Yeah. And once you start hitting these tank counts that they have right now, like these spreads are really, really good. Vultures, they can still be used to help bust, but they aren't really going to bust alone. You can't just run your vultures up to these giant tank lines and kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even with fantastic mines, you're generally not going to trade too well there.
So we're setting up that TVT no man's land, which is very, very common in this matchup. Go ahead.
I want to point out that our observer here keeps showing where those starports are. That's so intentional. He spread 3 starports that can't be seen in the same scans. A lot of times you put your same tech buildings in the same area so that it's easier to produce.
Like you make all your carriers in one spot, because if you spot one Stargate, then you already know what's coming on.
But with Wraiths and TVT, 1 starport is way different from 2, which is way different from 3.
Exactly.
They all are require a different level of readiness. Like 1 starport Wraith, you're not really afraid of. Just make a couple Goliaths a turret. 2 starport Wraith, okay, that's kind of serious. He's going to try to catch your tanks. 3 starport Wraith is like, oh, dude, you got to start playing the game differently now. So the fact that he has spread those so well, this is really good. Like, this is a very intelligent play by Mind.
Now, here comes a drop, but it looks like the Wraiths would end up intercepting this perfectly. So he's going to end up showing the Wraiths out here now. Definitely wants to get rid of that dropship first.
Yeah, this was worth it by Mind, just to see how many Wraiths there are already.
Yeah.
This throws him off a little bit, right? You see
I don't
5.
think there's turrets out here yet.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty bad, man. He's going to get this 1 Goliath. But I think he should just go right for the tanks, man.
I agree with you on that.
I think this is actually a misplay here. It's like, get those tanks like yesterday.
Well, it's super cool. Like, if you start going after tanks, sometimes they'll unsiege and run away, and then you can move up with your tanks. You can chase them right down.
He needs to get this turret, though, over here. Okay, here we go. He's moving in.
Yeah, a bunch of those tanks were unsieged. His Wraith's adding a lot of damage here as well. So many tanks actually starting to get taken out.
Is Mind going to be completely punted back here? It seems like it could be the case, especially with these angles where he can actually hit those tanks with his own Wraiths, and even driving the barracks away. Great plays here. However, he hasn't broken them yet. The supplies are basically the same.
Yeah. This was a good move, though. Like, you know, he's giving himself a chance to make a big play, and maybe that wasn't the biggest play. He ended up losing quite a few tanks, too. Mind is holding pretty tight. But, you know, I really got to appreciate the fact that he's making moves like that. It's not like it got him behind. It was, like, kind of even.
As you can see now, the game continues on with Rush. I mean, look, that was a good little fight, and I think he definitely took that, but he didn't mind. It did not end up giving up really any ground that mattered. I mean, he just had to move his siege line back just slightly. Behind this, Mind is making his own Valkyries, and he may end up blindsiding the Wraiths here of Rush, which could turn this game upside down as well.
Yeah, if you overmake those Wraiths, sometimes Valks can kill them.
Okay, great targeting here. And I don't know, man. Mind's just going to lose all these tanks. This is really bad.
Yeah. Some real value occurring.
Okay, so he has to always back away if there's any Goliaths at all. You need like a comical amount of Wraiths to ever actually win a fight against Goliaths.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy. The ground attack of Wraiths is so weak.
It's kind of a funny unit because it's very good versus air and it can hit ground, but its air to ground is not strong. Like it's not like I don't know, like a Guardian or something where you just see things get obliterated underneath it.
Really, yeah, you're very right. Only capital ships do real damage against ground, very much unlike StarCraft 2, where you got things like Oracles and Banshees.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, no, the Wraiths, this is a very tactical unit. And, like, the thing is that the metagame has changed in StarCraft 1, and, like, you actually can't go mass Wraiths late game. It's kind of wild, but there are situations where you can use it.
You can also sometimes respond to like somebody making carriers by sneaking your own Wraiths, or sometimes they're making battle cruisers and you sneak out your own Wraiths. But it's pretty tricky to actually pull off.
By the way, this top spot, the 12 o'clock position here, that gas expand, that could become the most important area on the map if this continues to get super cut in half.
Also, it should be noted that the center area right now technically goes to Mind, and that's another area.
Yes.
It maybe not, but may become a big factor. But I think you're right, more likely the top center.
Yeah, I don't expect any mining to occur in that center area, but even having those extra inches is a really big deal in TVT. That's something that you have to actually account for. If you have more of the map, even if there's not necessarily resources there, it gives you a better offensive position.
Here we go, here we go. This is a really bad move here by Rush. He's already inside here. Here come the Valkyries. Are going to see just how fast Wraiths can die. To Valkyries, goodbye. And now air dominance goes to mine.
And so this 12 o'clock base we need to talk about a little bit. He's already taken 6, and if you cut a map in TVT, if one person ends up with one more gas expand, they will almost always win.
Right.
It's a super important part. Like, he doesn't need to take this base right now, Rush doesn't, but he needs to make sure that it doesn't get turtled so hard that he can never take it.
Okay, he's coming in here, and he's going to take out these dropships, which is actually quite a big deal, because dropships, as we've seen in plenty of the other TVTs that we've casted out here, actually play a huge role in trying to break certain lines of defense and force your army, or your opponent's army, to reposition. I mean, if you can see siege tanks up on the siege ground in siege mode, oh, buddy, it's going to be so hard to break. Good targeting, too, hitting the tanks in the back.
Super good move here by Rush to take this area. Neither player has +2 yet, so definitely these tanks still can do battle.
Yeah, once you have +2, tanks kill each other in 2 siege tank siege shots instead of 3.
Yeah.
So that's the real big moment where the game can be turned on its head.
It's a gigantic difference.
Crazy.
But, okay, so this map, I don't expect it to turn into BC versus BC because the siege line is so long that if you give off too much supply, that even with +2 attack on your tanks, your opponent might be able to actually push through with ground units. So, like this, the game is definitely going to go long, though. Because Rush taking that base, that's like, the map is now perfectly split. There is technically that middle base that you're talking about, but I don't know if I've ever seen people actually mine from there for any extended period of time.
Yeah, in almost any matchup, it's not like the realistic base to take, but it's there. So everything mines out. It does become a fight in the middle here.
You see that +2 finished? Oh my god, he's losing a lot of tanks, even to just 3 there. He lost like 5 tanks attacking into 3 tanks.
And this is sort of an anti-timing here for Rush, because if mine has a really well-placed siege army, everything's going to be killed off. And we see Rush trying to break the top, but I just don't see the siege tank line being busted, man. +2 is done for mine, and that has to be respected.
And the air unit's just kind of coming up and spotting for the time being. The Valkyries don't really have a lot of value right now. Kind of funny to see some vultures added back in. They become much less useful at this point. Like when you're hitting these max supplies, as I say, like, I mean, it's okay to have some mines out or something. Sometimes you can scout with them or kill some SCVs, but they just do not match up against the higher tech mech units.
Okay, we got a drop coming up here. Mine is going to attempt to breach this northern location. Again, this is the most important location on the map based on how everybody's been fighting. Rush now is going to have to give up, this location. Meanwhile, as that action is going on, Mine sees this as an opportunity to try to break through this area of siege tanks over here. Mine, though, does seem to have just barely enough that it can slow this down.
Yeah. That is a really important thing here. If he can slow it down, he can get more mech units up here, stop the push eventually. And the thing is, he's the one that's killing a base. It's not Rush. Rush is taking a ton of ground right now, though. So if he still plays like kind of patiently, he doesn't overdo it, he can clear that 12 o'clock base and retake it.
Okay. As this game continues on, it's been Mine that's reclaimed that top base. He's not mining from it yet, so he's not sapping any of those valuable resources he needs from that. But there's a lot going on here. This is a crazy TVT.
It is.
This is why this is such a vexing mirror matchup. Most mirror matchups can't get to a point of this much complexity. Not to say that this is the other matchups are not difficult, but this is sort of a very crazy, unique RTS mirror matchup.
Yeah, TVT StarCraft 1, it gets so positional, and like there are some really distinct tech switches that can occur as well. But right now, it looks like it's just a giant drop from Rush, doing the same thing that Mine had just done to him at 12 o'clock.
Now, this is actually pretty big, because if he can hold this area, he can eventually scoot his way into the main. And then Mine, even though Mine's denied Rush from taking the top center, Rush will have stopped Mine from even utilizing the upper right, really.
Don't mind. Sieges up at least a little bit there. Losing that base is really painful, but now they're on the same amount of bases. Both of them maxed out.
Mind with slightly more minerals banked up for a maxed out player, which can be pretty important for how many more tanks you can remake after a fight. Here comes a big drop on top of these siege tanks in the front here for Rush.
Oh boy, this is not working out for Mind right now. That drop from Rush to reinforce, sieging up in the back there will hold this area. Actually, Mind did all right with that.
I will say, though, this is a real highlight of how different players can dominate in different eras. If this was Mind 8 years ago, we would expect him to win no matter what.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it seems like Rush may be playing slightly better.
Yeah, I like Rush's play.
I do not want to be, for our viewers and for us as commentators to be too trapped in the past. Like, there are new players who are up and coming and dominating, and this seems to be one of those moments here.
Well, he definitely showed a better game against Mind the first time.
Yeah.
And this game so far, it's been pretty nice and even. I've liked a lot of Rush's moves better. I guess Mind retaking that 12 o'clock was really fancy, but, like, the fact that he tried to get into the 3-port Wraith, it didn't really truly work out, but, like, moves like that are fantastic. He's countered defensive dropping here against these pushes as well, which is nice. Ooh, that one might have been a little
close. I don't know about that drop there, but I guess he just wants to try to get some control over here in the center of the map, where Mind's going to have a lot of mobility. By the way, Mind, if he doesn't address that position in the natural of the upper right, he's going to lose this game.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, there's just nothing that he can do right now.
But he's holding the same position at 12, where it's like it's basically the same exact situation. Those are the bases that aren't taken on this map.
They basically both captured each other's key locations, but it's in such a position where they can't expand there and take advantage of it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like both of them are kind of behind enemy lines, but with enough that it's too annoying to break. Okay, Rush making a gigantic move forward here. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Huge siege up here from Mind.
Looks like Mind will be able to hold this position, but can't go any further. They both have enough Goliaths. It's sort of unwise to try to drop your tanks over there.
Yes, and that also, when you see that many Goliaths that are just keep on coming out, you know you can't really switch into Mass Wraith at that point.
Right, right. So a lot of this has just been attention focused on the top center of the map. They're trying to do any damage. In fact, I don't think Mind should be doing this.
No.
I think this is actually Mind is about to give up a very important location.
Yeah, I agree with you a quadrillion%.
Now,
I feel like what he should have done is made the most, like, hard to approach area at 12. Just make it so that it's too much of a headache to break.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this now Mind may or Rush may be confused and not realize those are the same units that are in the top center. But
well, he's floating his command there right now. I see it on the mini-map. So Rush is like, oh, sick, you move those units, thank you.
Yeah, big mistake by you there.
Yeah. +3 attack Goliath, so you don't want to drop on top of those. 4 tanks with +2. It's like, yeah, I feel like that was a big mistake, and now he just loses these.
Okay, easy peasy cleans house over here.
Rush is super happy with this, but notice how Rush is not moving his set of units that are in Mind's top natural.
Looks like Mind actually does bust the center location, though, and is reinforcing this. He might have a bigger punch coming up here if he can get a little bit further, but behind this, Rush just sieges up. It's this endless tangle of defense that he has to get through.
This one is a pretty crazy game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ooh, Rush starting to take this location a little bit. He might not be able to mine from it quite yet, but at least getting some siege tanks up here, kind of claiming the area. Over time, when Mind starts not paying attention, he can easily take this base now. But Mind hasn't cleared that natural. This is a big issue right now. And that's going to be a very cost-efficient trade for Rush, no matter what. But look, Mind did take the base. Sick.
Yeah, that was going to eventually happen here. He's going to have such an excess of minerals at this point in time. Might as well try to take something.
Dude, there's a gas in there on that side, too. Like, he can't take the other side, but that's fine. That's another gas base.
Okay, finally this is cleaned up over here by Mind. Now, keep in mind that Rush has been mining more of the map for longer in a funny way at the top. So having reclaimed that means he's going to have more minerals from that expansion for a while.
Well, yeah, well, don't forget Mind had the 6 o'clock for a long time as well. So this is still, like, pretty darn even. It's hard to say who's actually going to end up winning this game. Like, Mind has to retake that gas, and Rush has to retake 12, and then what will be the decider if both those things occur, and they both look likely to occur at this point, is that middle base, which almost never comes into this game in any matchup on this map. But in this particular one, with Mind having just a slightly further siege tank push, I mean, he is mining from it. I want to see him take that gas on it, though. I'm really surprised he's only taking minerals. Gas becomes a decider very often in this matchup.
Okay, big drops here by Mind. Mind actually is going to take the center of the map.
Ooh,
Rush has got his command center there at the top. I think SCVs are just now being transferred. Oh my God, here we go. Now those dropships are empty, right?
Yeah, those
they
are
have
empty.
to be empty.
Those are empty.
Okay. Crazy.
Wow.
It's such a big... I'm so glad we can zoom out in StarCraft Remastered. It makes it so much easier to digest what's happening.
Yeah.
Especially in TDT, which usually is a fight that takes up several computer screens.
Yes, very, very true about that. Now, Rush, he made turrets. I'm not sure how many tanks are at 12, but if he can hold on to that and then stifle this push, and like he'll still have a chance, but he's going to have to make a move because Mind has that center base. At the end of the day, like, even though you can be very cost efficient, if your opponent has an entire additional base, that is such a huge amount of cost efficiency you have to overcome that it's almost impossible.
Now the question is will he be able to Mind drop his army on this drop over here?
Oh my God.
Well, you know, losing that many dropships, we don't even know how much supply was in there, but we saw Mind plummet down to 163, so it had to be a decent amount.
Yeah.
Okay, Rush still has the top. Mind is mining from this base that's pretty fresh. So the freshest bases here are the top center and the natural of the upper right. They each have one. Now, Rush is not going to have access to the middle, it looks like, for a long time. So Mind should mine out that location in the middle on his side, but I don't know if it's going to be easy for him to get the other side. This is also just sort of an ugly base, right? It's like you're not mining that effectively from it.
It is true. So, like, Mind over time looks like he can take this.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of moves that can be made at this point. Like, there are weak points in these defenses, even though the tanks have ridiculous upgrades. 3-1 against 3-2 right now.
Looks like the attention of this game is seesawed to the bottom now. But because Mind is moving around with this large number of dropships, he can kind of come anywhere and respond in time. Now, I don't really see Rush pushing through that, right?
No, he can't push through that. I like that he came down here, though, just because this was neglected for so long. You got to assume that it had bare minimum units, and he was pretty right about that as well. But Mind has like just such a mobile force. Even though he lost all those dropships, he's been so on top of replacing them. Like, the fact that he can come in and Rush has a sick pre-sieged set of units attacking everything, and Mind is like, nope, I will have more at the end of this. It's very impressive.
Very exhausting TBT for these two guys. We're definitely ending on a high note here. Big drop coming up. I don't think that Rush can break this position, though, can he?
Ooh, I don't know. This is a lot of Goliaths.
Oh, excuse me. Those are Rush's Goliaths at the top. Okay, well, you know, we're seeing a lot of blows occur here, but it doesn't seem like anybody's making that much headway on the map. Now, with all that being said and done, it's 156 supply to 172. Mind seems to have more, slightly more income here.
Yeah, this middle base truly is paying off some.
To be honest, if I were Mind, I would have tried mining from the left side first. Because, you know, we've never seen any attempt to put a siege tank over here to deny that, right?
You are right.
So it's like he could have sucked up all those minerals and then gone over here to the right side.
Well, as long as he defends his center area and keeps his dropships kind of mobile right now so that he doesn't lose those top bases, Rush is like, I see him kind of circling right now. He's like, what can I do? How do I gain something here? And there isn't anything right now.
It's kind of funny because in TVT, so much of the map is important. It's not like in a lot of other matchups where you just need a base or a bridge. Any part of the map that you can secure and get some defenses there is useful.
It's actually
it really
very
is
true.
a big chessboard here.
Yeah. And like you see that Mind is going to end up probably winning this game because at the very beginning, his siege tank contain was slightly past the 50% way. Right? And that's how he got this middle command center, which is, if you look at how much he's ahead, that kind of lines up with having that one additional base.
Oh my God, he's going to go straight for the main.
Oh, this is a
Rush
brave
with some
move.
very decisive play, but keep in mind, the dropships of Mind coming out here.
I do not know about this one.
I am totally unsure, guys.
Yeah, this is not going to end up working, I don't think,
yeah,
right?
Well, this
well,
is,
maybe. He got the siege up very quickly.
Yeah, he has all those tanks sieged up in that nook.
Yeah, as long as he spots everything coming in now, this becomes really hard to break. Wow.
He needs to keep scanning around there, making sure he can hit every single tank that's in range.
He needs to move those Goliaths back a bit as well. He only has 2 Goliaths left, so now suddenly drops can come on top of this. If you have 5, 6 Goliaths there, though, trying to break it with dropships becomes very ungood.
Very ungood indeed, Artos.
Extremely ungood.
Now, he's going to go back up and load up, and this is the whole plan, is he has Mind really preoccupied over here, trying to figure out how do I take care of this thing in my main. He's taking out all these depots, really being a nuisance here, as well as starports and stuff like that, and then Rush might come in here and drop in other locations, and Mind's just not going to be ready.
Where is Rush going to go next? Okay, he's going to go on top of this set of units.
Okay, he's dropping over here. Now, can Rush break the center location here? Mind seems to be pretty spread out. By the way, that drop in the main is supply blocking Mind.
Yeah.
Mind's at 136 supply, so taking out all the depots. Oh, wow. You know what? Rush is going to win this. Look at this. This is absolutely brilliant.
He might be able to. Like, Mind has to remake everything in the top main base now, and he's losing this base, which is really what was giving him an edge. If Rush can now take that, that's gigantic.
This is so huge. Now, he started to remake those depots. No. Actually, you know what? Rush has got this. I can't
looks
imagine.
like it.
Yeah. If he even gets one drop over there, let's say in the upper right, he's fine.
Oh, is this a switch into starport?
I'm not sure.
It's not too bad a time for that, I think. Like, he can try that as a kind of last resort to suck that money down really quickly, because positionally he's been outplayed at this point. So Wraiths are something that could kind of ignore that a bit.
Okay, loading up over here. Again, time is very sensitive right now for Rush. He's got this lead, he's got the momentum, but he needs to get that closer. Those tanks, by the way, in the main, still there. In the main to mine, I mean.
Those are probably not going to go anywhere. And in fact, at this point, now that he's remaking everything, that's like lost supply for Rush. He'll have to move it eventually.
Okay, scans. We're trying to find some openings here. He does not want to lose that barracks either, because if he loses that... Oh, hold up. Here we go. He's going right over.
Oh, my God. He's crazy. He's so crazy. He lost 2 or 3 dropships doing this.
He does not care, Artos. He's unloading everything right here.
Oh, my God. And there's enough Goliaths here that Wraiths won't do anything.
And keep in mind, there's a lot of depots that were just remade because of that initial fight that are now going to be under fire here. And having Goliaths right over those starports, are you kidding me?
Such strong moves coming out of Rush here. This is so hard to break. Oh, my God. I really feel for Mind. This is like...
no. I mean, as a Brood War player, you look at like a position like this that Rush has, and you just start to get a headache.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
How do you break that? It's really dirty.
So he's starting to shave off those tanks on the edges here, but once again, it's Mind with a supply block. Rush may just be a better TVT player. He continues to macro up behind all this.
It seems like it, and Mind actually had advantages several times this game. I think he did do like a couple misplays. Like, for instance, at 12 o'clock, he could have made that harder to take. Oh, God, he's going to lose his base.
Uh-oh. Goliaths are hitting that. Okay, good pushing in here. But he just doesn't seem to quite have the high tank numbers that he needs. I wonder if he could take advantage of those tanks that are in the main, by the way, in the bottom right. Mind, once again, unsupply blocks himself. By the way, this main in the upper right was not being mined from as much as I thought it was. There's a lot more minerals than I had realized there.
No, I mean, you're right. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sick today.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Rush is coming out now. He's trying to edge his way in here and shut down the upper right. Now, there's a sparse number of tanks. Mind's frantically trying to remake his army.
Yeah, it's really funny when you look at the money. It's like Rush is just like super macroing. If Mind rather could spend his money, he'd have as much supply.
Yeah, it's just that he's kind of unable to do that.
He's just nodding at me while I feverishly say random things. It's so funny.
I'm watching your brain try to process stuff, man. It's just...
It's like, oh, jeez.
You could see...
You don't know what pity is until you've seen Taysus shake his head.
Yeah.
He's like nodding at me. He's trying to be supportive.
I'm watching your fever brain try to string together a sentence. Like, if he spends his money, he can have as much stuff as his opponent. And I'm like, yes.
It's true.
You're definitely
It ain't not true.
Yeah. Well, where does he go from here? Looks like he says, okay, I can clean up a few units for Stray. Okay, that was a little overkill.
Oh, that mine didn't hit. That would have been a sick mine. Okay, so he secures this middle base now. That's really, really important. At least it's secured from the bottom, it looks like.
Meanwhile, as this game moves onward, it's going to be tough. In a weird way, if mine can last for like 10 more minutes, Rush should run out of money. Like, he's gonna have used up all the resources on the map, and mine will have hung on for longer.
You are right about this. He didn't mine as much in that top right. That middle base, though, is like the trump card. If you can hold that, you can win. These dropship fleets are like too much, man. it's just
kind of crazy, isn't it?
So many. They don't even unload well when you have this
What you need is a bunch of Valkyries to just mow that down, Artosis. Yeah. That's how Taysus wins the ASL.
Great volleys right there, clearing a ton of siege tanks.
Yeah. No possible response from Rush in that moment.
Hey, Taysus, who do you want to win this game?
I'm fine with either of them. I mean, I like an underdog story, and Rush, once again, and two pretty impressive TVTs dominating mine. But, you know, mine is obviously a great guy, good name for the tournament.
Yeah.
Another scan down here.
Some great mining going on by Rush there in the center, really trying to catch up in that regard.
By the way, in case you're wondering why that command center isn't centered, when you have a game going on that's this high APM, it's more important he just gets it set up somewhere and tries to sap the resources from it. You're not trying to be at a steady macro phase like you are in a normal game.
Also, if you look at the mini-map, up and right of that command center is where he has the most heavy ground cover. So that command center there is much harder to hit. The bottom is actually owned by Mind. So he kind of has to have it. At this point, you don't even care if you're long distance mining. What you're trying to do is just gather more resources than your opponent. That's the important thing.
It is Rush with more dropships, correct?
Yes. Rush certainly if Mind has more dropships, he should, like, it doesn't even make sense. There's so many dropships for Rush.
What is the story with these dropships over here for Rush?
I do not know.
Seems like he has this lead. Mine is just eking back into being maxed out. The other thing is it's hard to tell where your opponent's supply is, especially at this phase of the game. You basically don't know because you've had so many exchanges. Okay. Big moment here. Oh,
God. This is crazy. This is not going to work for Rush, I don't think. That is so many tanks for Mind right now, but I guess most of them are on the bottom.
Well, he's going to have access into the bridge area.
Yeah.
Not a ton of Goliaths here, so he could probably drop on top of that.
It's true.
Is he just going to try to edge in? Okay, here we go. Keep in mind that I don't believe there were many factories in that main for mine.
No, so he only has starports there.
Yeah, so he has to use dropships to try to ferry an army over there. I think Rush made too many dropships, Artosis. I think he has like 12 dropships.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount. He can like fit his whole army into his dropships.
Yeah, I think he almost literally can.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay, so mineral check here. Rush is very close to mining out in the natural in the upper left. I believe he should be close to mining out in the top center. In the very center, I mean, minerals are sort of sparse there, but that should be cleaned up too. I think mine actually has the base that's going to last the longest, and that's the main in the upper right, I think.
Yeah, the main in the upper right, I think you are right. That probably lasts the longest overall. I mean, that gas on the side that Rush is mining from, though, is super fresh.
That's a good point. He can definitely make more tanks, and tanks seem to reign supreme here, as long as you just have that minimum number of Goliaths.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this is one of the very few times I'll ever say I wish that someone would make a nuke.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually force tanks on the siege sometimes with nukes. They're really expensive, though.
Well, it's also a map where there's enough locations to nuke that you might not get them all.
It's, I I mean, it's so APM intensive to set that up that it's probably good that they aren't going for a nuke, but I'm just saying, like, some of these situations that I'm seeing, if you could force an unsiege in an area,
yeah,
you could take that area over so quickly.
I just don't know if Rush can bust this upper right location.
But
it's very hard. There's a lot of areas with turrets set up where you can't really get tanks to hit their turrets.
Yeah, I think you're right that he cannot bust it, but if he gets to mine out this center area, I think that that's enough that he can win.
I think you're right. Okay, Rush once again. He's going to go for it here. Does he have enough? And if he takes this location, is this location important enough? Oh, but mine has a response, so he's going to unload.
Oh, is he now? Or is he not going to unload, Tasis?
Oh,
why do you lie to the viewers?
Looks like I was made the fool back there, Artosis.
Tasis is all telling you he's going to unload. People are like, oh, I can't wait for him to unload. No, all the medevacs.
Let the fans down, Artosis. That was a great play there. Now, I think the dropship number should be significantly lower here for mine.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more, I think.
Right? I think he only has 1 or 2 at most.
I hope those weren't full of units. I didn't look at
Did you see? Oh, wait, we got to go. Look, our observer just passed right over it.
Battle cruisers.
Cattle bruisers. That's right, Artie.
So, when the game gets this slow, battle cruisers do become the best thing. They have no upgrades, so he'll be using them only for Yamato. But he just lost a lot of stuff, so I don't think he can even keep them safe.
Yeah, I think he needs a critical number of them for this to work.
Yeah, it's like you can have your siege tanks there, and you sit behind your siege tanks, and then your Yamato tanks on the other side, and eventually you kill them all. The counter to that is to make your own battle cruisers, or to kill them quickly before they can gain value over time. But like, Yamato outranges everything, so over time you can kill the entire. If he had one battle cruiser and Rush went AFK, he could win the game with that. You know?
Yeah, essentially.
You can Yamato everything. Eventually.
Okay, he's pulling SCVs here. Okay, he's, by the way, he's actually mined out. Mine did mine out first. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of a weird, weird game here. And I think all Rush has to do is then hold off the remaining forces.
Yeah. I think that...
very hard to call these.
Okay, it looks like he wants to attack maybe 12, but he needs to take out the middle. Like, if mine can kill the middle and just make that not mining, this game can go on for 1,000 years, and Yamato could actually win, you know?
I think the problem is that this is basically Russia's game to lose, right? By the way, neither of these guys have a lot in the, banked up, so...
Well, at this point, like, you can even start losing all your buildings and stuff. All that matters is this middle area. That's it.
You know, with the amount of gas that Rush has and the fact that he's not going to have almost any more minerals, I don't know how many minerals Ghosts cost, but is there, like, any...
They cost 25 minerals and 75 gas.
Would there be any validity to trying to get Ghosts with lockdown? Or is it just like, this is too close?
No, you couldn't do that.
Oh, my God, he's going over there. Oh, my God. This is madness, Artosis.
It is super
This is
madness.
crazy. And what about the cattle bruisers? Are they ready? Look out!
They have no upgrades. He has to be super careful with them.
Comically far those Goliath missiles
Those
fire.
two command centers look exactly the same.
I know.
They look exactly the same.
Ba-boom! Ba-bang! So...
Really, those command centers look the same.
Yeah.
Like, that's the pre-order skin that they have. Orange and red pre-order command centers are the same graphic. I want my money back!
He's... Okay, hold on a second.
I don't even know about this.
Well...
Like, is this area
I think the gas isn't mined out, so I think it actually is.
Like,
he didn't have any money, though.
He has no Goliaths on top of us now. They're all up north.
I think Rush has done it now.
Did he?
I think so.
Target the Goliaths.
Oh!
Yeah, this...
Okay.
The only reason that worked is that mine sent so many units up top.
I don't know why he was like going to try to take out that location.
Yeah, that location didn't matter. The only thing that mattered, you can let him mine that top. Whoever has the center at the end should win. And he has battle cruisers, which means he should win extra. So this was just sending those units up. If he had all those Goliaths with his army still, like, this doesn't matter so much. There's barely any minerals there.
Guys, this is welcome to late game PvT and Brood War, the entire map is about to be mined out. Some of you StarCraft 2 kids have probably never even seen this. You probably thought it was esports fan fiction, but it can happen. Oh, it can happen.
Yes, and in TBT sometimes it does. One thing to note is you never run fully out of gas. When the geyser becomes depleted, you mine 2 instead of 8. And I know as StarCraft 2 people are like, whoa, we only normally mine 5. 2, that's a lot. It's not really.
Hold on a second. Mine has this position. By the way, the supplies are similar, and since there are battle cruisers involved here, the Goliaths can't get premium surface damage onto the battle cruisers.
How many BCs does he have left?
I think he's only got 2, man.
That's not very many.
Keep in mind, a lot of the supply from Russia is made up of dropships. I just want to point that out.
You're really
this is
funny.
actually,
it's true.
It's something that had not fully occurred to me until the supplies got low
what
enough.
is he doing? What is he unsieging for?
Oh my god!
Like, Mind is actually making some kind of bad moves. When you get to a point like this, like, yeah, maybe Russia's gonna go kill all your top right buildings, but you're not doing anything there except mining 2 gas at a time.
Give me an L! Bang boom! Alright. Now this is Warcraft 2. You start firing at the gold mine. Try to destroy that so you couldn't mine in it. But you can't kill the gold mine. There is no gold mine.
Dude, if you got an advantage and could have killed that as Rush, like in Warcraft, that would have been worth it.
Yeah. Okay, SCV's having seizures over here. They saw that Pokemon cartoon that didn't have the warning.
The Porygon episode.
That's right, the Porygon episode. But yeah, the fact that most of the supplies and dropships, I'm not, as long as mine has a good position, I think he's okay. You ever think Rush is like a dropship hoarder? Like this is a problem?
Oh my god. One of those one of those dropships is full of old newspapers. Another one's full of
Hold up, here it is. Okay, he's dropping right exactly in the center of the siege tank line. And that, okay, wow. The letter G, ladies and gentlemen. G for good. Or
okay, he's actually scanning everywhere. Yeah, he gives up. Wow. That was a crazy one.
That was insane.
All right, let's see how long.